Jubad Hussain writes, "Hey guys, love the show. Congratulations on your recent award. My question is regarding the change of the release date for Pan, which was done to avoid the crowded number of summer movies. Do you think that the general positive feedback to the latest Ant-Man trailer had anything to do with their decision? Do movie studios reassess their release date based upon the positive buzz surrounding competing movies? Thanks."
I'm sure it has happened in the scope of Hollywood history, but generally speaking, no. And let's remember, Pan didn't just move to avoid the crowded, spot that it was in, and it was in a crowded spot. There were also other advantages of things moving. By moving to October, they can release their film and have their premiere at the Toronto Film Festival, which is always a big thing for these guys to do. And it was just a more favorable time of the year for them as well. So I really don't think anything about Ant-Man. Look, they knew Ant-Man was opening on that date well in advance. They knew it's a Marvel film, so it's going to have tons of buzz. They knew that well in advance. So I really don't see Ant-Man having anything to do with them moving the dates. Christian, do you see it any differently?
No, I don't think that it's Ant-Man moving for sure. I pretty much agree with what you said there. And I think that we also don't know what kind of business Ant-Man's going to do. Right now, it's being a newer property. So I don't think Pan moving would be that. I think what we talked about yesterday, I think that they maybe looked at it and said, because putting it in October is not a bad date.
Not a bad date at all.
They just looked at, I think, personally, that they looked at it and said, this really isn't going to play as a summer movie. I think it might have slower beats. It might have more characters and more story, which I, again, said yesterday is not a bad thing. And it might just not have the energy and the vibe of a summer film. It might fit better in October. I really do believe that's the reason they moved it.
I think they're doing the same thing with this, which is what The Winter Soldier did with summer movies and what Furious 7 is doing, where you know how they expand the summer now, and what Batman v Superman is going to kick off the summer next year in like March. So I think the same thing with those family movies that you get around the holidays is that Pan is just going to get in the front of that train. It's going to be the first movie you want to take your entire family to see, and that's coming out in October. So it will have to compete against some crappy horror film, I'm sure, but that's pretty much it before you get into all those other like the Hunger Games and Star Wars in December.
Well, that's a great point there. As far as maybe that they were looking at when they were going to move it, going, this is really playing the holidays, and then they go, no, let's not go to December, because maybe it would actually fit better in December around Christmas time,
or Hunger Games for Thanksgiving.
Or right, too, or either one of those holidays for sure. But right now, it's just you have two juggernauts in there to where you push back a little bit more. And the summer, like I said, I just don't think there's some movies that just play better in those holiday seasons. This seems like that would have been the one, but because of what it has there, well, let's go to October, see how that works.